That's right, great and glorious, and famous one. Then Nick Dash back on the camera again one more time. Hi there, how the heck's it going? Cheers. Typical English bastard, drinking is a typical English tea. I know. I'm living off stereotypes. Oh, what is wrong with me? Okay, I've been asked to talk to you today on the subject of Otherkin. Obviously, thanks to that one particular YouTube user who sent me through that private message saying, can you please tell me your points of view about what the Otherkin are and so on and so forth. I had not heard the phrase Otherkin until I'd spent a bit of time here on YouTube. Yes, I spent a bit of time in Second Life previously, and I'd come across people who called themselves the furries. Originally, I hadn't actually grasped that that was actually a sexual thing at the time, but I developed the point of view that maybe there are some people who think that they're not human. But actually, there are some people who think that they're something which is not human, and it's a non-sexual thing. There's people who have a different sense of self to the average individual, which I personally feel could be to do with numerous reasons. This could be to do with nutrition, B vitamin deficiency. This could be to do with psychological trauma, lack of sleep, and a wide variety of different things. I mean, if you've ever had a time in your life just when you've worked so hard, or you've had so little sleep, or you've got a bad virus, that you get like a really distorted sense of perception of time or space, or you're not quite sure what's a dream and what's real. We've all had fevers like that. I had one when I was a kid in which I swore that my bed had been teleported into the middle of a forest, and there were all these slugs that were coming to eat me, but it was a very real quality of dream. So my point here is that there are certain states that humans can be in as a result of the body not quite working right, that makes you feel that you have a different sense of space, time, perception, what you are, and the rest of it. A while ago I watched a documentary. I am a bit of a documentary addict, and this particular documentary was on werewolves. It might actually these days be on the 4 on demand service, which the British people who are in my audience may be able to watch here on YouTube, on the television on demand service here on YouTube. And I can't give you a link, I'm sorry, but it may be out there. And it was essentially about lycanthropy. Now, lycanthropy is a medical term, so it turns out, which is a disease whereby the person thinks that they're a wolf. And this comes about through the regions of the brain which deal with sensory perception of the hands and the feet being damaged to the point whereby the individual doesn't think they've got hands and feet anymore. And if they have a slight sense of psychosis, they can really become the wolf-like character and go around killing people, believing that they are the wolf there. So as a result of brain damage, brain chemistry problems, or something of a psychological nature, an individual can stop believing that they are a human. Alright? There are the one individual who knows who they are, okay, you know who you are, who's basically given me like this education into the Otherkin as a result of blog talk radio sessions, as well as the videos that they've done, has pointed out, yeah, I mean, that they think that maybe they themselves are slightly crazy. So there's actually self-admittance there that, yeah, they think they might be slightly crazy, but they've still got an altered sense of self somehow. So some of these Otherkin people have not literally taken the attitude that they have transformed. They're just trying to find an identity which fits the way that they feel internally. Now, as I say, whether this is biological or psychological, it's difficult to say. On the basis of occult experiences, could I then suggest that maybe there is some kind of possession of the body as a result of some other spirit entering in? Obviously I can't say, and it will be within my personal way of dealing with this particular subject to say that I can't say when I simply can't say, and I just don't know either way, because none of us do. So I think that there's questions about this, but there's no real hard and fast answers. I mean, if you spend long enough in the occult community, especially the younger occult community, which is of course what I did when I was younger and an occultist, You can get people who have developed a strong belief that they are, King Arthur, or they themselves are an incarnation of Odin, not by way of analogy, but by way of saying, this is, really what I feel like. I really feel like I am Arthur, or I really feel that I am Merlin, or and so on and so forth. And maybe whatever this is, which makes someone feel different, physically, psychologically, emotionally, in terms of sense of self and self-perception, maybe this is what draws people to forms of religious ideology, and indeed possibly to different environments and different social crowds as a result of the way they feel. You often hear people say that things like, this is what I am, or this is what I really am, when basically what they're talking about is what they think they are, alright, without necessarily objectively looking at their behavior and what they really do and what they really think. I think that this, or the idea of an altered sense of self, may have some connection to political ideologies as well. Maybe the feeling of intolerance connected to a sense of self actually draws people towards certain forms of extremist religiosity, and maybe that's where some of the problems lies, is these people think that whatever it is that they are believing in is essentially the hard and fast objective truth, when in fact maybe it is not the hard and fast objective truth, but there's something about them which makes them feel as if whatever it is the hard and fast objective truth, because it's an emotional thing and they've got an emotional problem which makes that sense of reality or altered reality be with them. So I suppose my point here is that altered senses of reality can be quite interesting to people, and an interesting subject to think about when you're coming across people who are very different in their outlook and their points of view. And in some certain types of altered sense of self-perceptions, you get the otherkin, when people think they're a vampire or a werewolf or an alien or a grey or a troll or a gnome or whatever. And I think that's more or less all we can really say about it. Certain individuals, either as a result of psychology or physiology or bad experiences or good experiences, develop an altered sense of self. And this is what I think the otherkin thing really is about, and it's very varied in the types of otherkin type people that there are out there.